to you and students as well, if you guys have questions. But yeah, welcome.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get started. It is 5 o'clock, and I'm sure maybe some of you didn't eat lunch, so you might be hungry. I ate half my lunch, so then I had to run. Not literally, but I had to run somewhere. My name is actually Heather Yuki, not Eva Shepherd Nickel. That happens to be the account the ChicoSTART account is under. I'm the business operations and a marketing and communications manager here at ChicoSTART. Um, if y'all don't know what ChicoSTART is, we're a nonprofit organization for entrepreneurs, startups, anyone with an idea. We're here to help you start, grow, and thrive. We have many, many resources. Tonight is one of them, and I'm excited to introduce Manny Escalante in just a minute. We are located in Chico, California. Um, and we represent 23 counties in the North State through a California Accelerated by Inclusive Innovation grant. So um, that's why we're able to offer all these resources to you and keep our doors open and lights on. Um, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Manny, and thank you all for being here. Thank you for signing up and taking the time this evening. Manny has done a couple of these live, mainly live, right? You've done Grow with
Yeah.
Google to grow your business up in paradise. And then he has done a more high-end marketing session in November. And so he is you can't get rid of us now, Manny, unfortunately. So Manny is the founder of Leadership and Leads, a business coaching business, and he brings real life experience as a business coach and business owner. Since 2003, he's helped business owners generate more revenue through his expertise in marketing, specifically this evening to help you with more leads, higher paying clients, and better online exposure and improved SEO. He's worked with many businesses in this realm. But you actually have a master's degree in sports medicine, actually.
Correct.
I'll
Yeah.
let you tell the story on that end. And he is a certified OKR leader. I will let him explain what that is as well, and leadership and goal setting, and a certified customer acquisition specialist. So he, like I said, is going to get you started if you don't have your business on Google and don't have a business profile yet. He is going to help you get there. If you do, that's great also. You've already got a head start, and he might give you some good pointers that maybe things that you missed that might be able to say raise your score on Google. Is that the right thing to say, maybe?
Yeah. Your ranking on Google. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we're glad you're here. And as I always say, take the positive of everything, and you'll always, gain a couple things from a webinar or education learning session to take home with you. So, Manny, I'm going to introduce you and let you go.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Heather. And I appreciate the whole Chico Start crew and Eva, who's not here, but also part of the organization. So yeah, I'm really excited to be able to share this information with you. A couple of housekeeping items. I want this to be interactive, so please, unmute, share. If you have a question, stop me. As you can maybe tell already, I get super excited when I speak. So just unmute, say, hey, I have a question. I'm going to try to keep up with the chat if you put something there, but I may miss it. So if I'm not seeing it, just unmute and say, hey, look at the chat. And I'll be happy to look at that. And then, yeah, we can, make sure your questions get answered. So the other part too is, like I mentioned earlier, I want to be a resource to all of you. So one of the things that can be frustrating around technology, and when we move at a fast clip is, I don't get it. I'm not seeing that on my end. Um, if that's the case, don't be frustrated. Let's raise your hand. If we can navigate it, we'll navigate it. But if not, just reach out to me. We'll set up a time to just dive into your Google profile. So I'll be happy again just to be a resource for you and make sure that you get this up and running, if you will. And whether that happens in the next couple of days or this is a pin that you're going to come back to in a month or in a year, just reach out to me. I'll be happy to help out. Uh, okay, so we talked about you guys interacting and asking me questions. I'm a resource for you. The other part, so two others, I'm on two screens. So if I start looking this way, away from the camera, I don't have the NBA playoffs in the background. I'm looking at my other screen. I'm still engaged. And if you hear weird noises, it's probably my dog. He's sleeping behind me and my desk, and he might wake up and make some noise. So, all right, let's get into it. So, I want to share a little bit more about, as Heather mentioned. So, I've been specifically consulting and coaching for over 10 years. I work with clients internationally, a bunch in Canada, Slovakia. I've worked with clients in Australia and England. So, lots of variety. What I find is the foundational principles of sales and marketing are the same across industries and across the world. Some nuances for sure, but the foundations are the same. Some of what we're going to talk about translate across the world and across industries. Um, the current clients that I work with, 10K to 500K revenue per month. Um, More and more, it's been less of the 10K. But what I love about the 10K businesses is that it's really, really exciting. We're wearing all the hats. We have a lot of plates spinning, but it's also like, where do we start? Where should I invest my time? Where you should invest your time, at least part of it, is Google profile, which is why we're here today. If you're starting a business, even if you've been in business for a while, but Google profile is a worthy investment. And the benefit of it is it gives you great visibility. It helps with your SEO, and the algorithms, if you will, don't change as much as some of the others, right? Whatever's working in Instagram right now, by the time we're done, is no longer working in Instagram. Google profile has a little bit more stability. So we absolutely should be investing our time in there if we're looking to grow our business. And the cool thing too is it's a free resource that Google wants to get our information in front of the customer. Because if Google gets the right information in front of the customer keeps coming back to Google because it says, hey, Google knows what I'm looking for. So we need to help Google get our information in front of those customers. Um, I've been in the trenches as well, right? So obviously I'm self-employed now, and this is what I do for a living. This is my business. I've owned and operated three fitness facilities, and on another track, I was over managing also fitness facilities. At my largest, I had a staff of 35, and then I oversaw three other facilities that were near me. So I've been kind of on both sides of it, right? On the leadership and the consulting side, and also on having to do the work. So let's get into today. So we're going to talk about Google My Business Profile. Why? Increase visibility and engagement for local businesses. I don't know you, but I bet you've probably looked at hair salon near me, best sushi restaurant, gyms close by. Fill in the blank in either your city or near me, and then we get narrowed down to what Google shows us. And how many of us are looking at page two? Nah, we're probably not even scrolling down halfway page one. I just want to look at what are the three or four things that show up on that map, and that's where I start my decision. Our goal then is to get in that three pack, right? The top three of Google. And what we'll start to do today is going to help us get there. So ideally, right, if you're in a place now where you're trying to grow your business, you can do a lot of this work right now. And again, if you get stuck, just let me know. Or just follow along. This is being recorded so you can come back to it. One of the biggest pieces that I want you that the thread that you'll see out of today is this reminder. You need to focus on being authentic. Our goal is not to trick an algorithm, but to create genuine value and give information. The minute that we start to say, well, what is Google going to think about this? You're playing the wrong game. What we need to be thinking is, what is our customer going to think about this? What is our customer going to Google? And that's the game that we play. Anytime that we're trying to beat an algorithm, we lose 100%. So some tips here. Represent your business as it's consistently represented and recognized across the real world in signage and stationery and other branding. So, for example, if it was Manny's Lawn Service, but also Manny's Landscaping Business, but also Manny's Lawns and More, what? Wait, so which one is it? And Google's going to say, I'm not confident showing this to Heather because I don't know what the heck this is. So it's Manny's Lawn Care across all of my channels. And the consistency needs to be there. If you have something on your website, Manny's Lawn Care, and you create a business profile with Manny's Lawns and More, it's not the same business according to Google. So it's going to have a hard time recognizing and believing, quote unquote, that you exist. So let's make sure that you're consistent across the board. Now, the beautiful thing and the terrible thing about the internet is that we can appear in multiple channels, right? So right now, if you have a business, you're getting an email and a text message and a DM on Instagram, and someone's liking you on LinkedIn, and someone just mailed you something like, all of these channels, but do some work as you're building your profile and just do a spot check. How do I show up on Yelp? How do I show up on Google? How do I show up on fill in the blank? And let's try to streamline that. Same thing with address and or service area. I'll show you some of these here in a moment. That's got to be accurate, right? Your address or your service area. Um, Choose the fewest number of categories. So let me stop here for a moment and show you what I mean in some real life examples. Um, maybe. All right. So what do we see here? We see, hopefully, do you see Boathouse Paddle Club in the Google search bar? Thumbs up if that's what you're seeing. Yeah? Okay, perfect. So this is the watercolor boathouse. They're in the Panhandle of Florida. This is their Google profile. We're going to break some of these down for a couple of different businesses. Um, but what I want to show you, right, is category. Because if we look here, choose the fewest number of categories it takes to describe your overall core business. We as entrepreneurs are terrible because we want to help everybody. We want to do it all for everybody. And so when I ask you to nail down your category, you get a little bit scared. So if we look here, this category, water sports equipment rental service in Seaside, Florida. That's their primary category is this water sports equipment rental. We had to arm wrestle over what to do because when we look inside the profile, what do we see here? Business category, water sports equipment rental, clothing store, physical fitness program, canoe and kayak rental. You see how this can be confusing? Now, what do they do? Well, they do all of those things because you can rent kayaks and stand-up paddleboards, because you can buy Lululemon there, because you can go to a fitness class. So it's all of those things. We're not lying, but we need to try to narrow this down a little bit, right? This I would maybe one or two more it's probably one or two more categories than I would like. Sometimes though, we just run it and see how it goes, right? And make some changes if we need to. Fewer is better, less confusion. And that's for us as a business owner, like, what the heck am I? Now, the reason we picked Water Sports Rental Company is because this particular company, this is a client of mine that I work with. This particular company is in a vacation rental area. They have a lot of competition in rentals, but not in this area because it's either you're renting in an ocean or you're renting in a lake. They have the benefit of the lake, and the biggest thing is the profitability of rentals is a lot higher. So if we want to be known for something, I want to be known for the category of business that gives me the most profit. That's how we made the decision. What is the most profitable? Rentals. Great. That's our primary category. This is an example, though, of choosing the fewest categories as possible. There should only be one profile per business because, again, otherwise we have some confusion. Now, one of the things that you can do, and we're going to get into, again, some of the nitty gritty right now. Um, so uh, you should be seeing the raw bar. Yeah. So sushi restaurant here in Chico. When I put in raw bar in the Google search, look at the difference here on the left-hand side. Can I make any changes to this profile? Versus the boathouse, can I make changes to this profile? I can. So what this tells me is that I have the ability to control and edit the watercolor boathouse profile. If you're not sure if you can control your profile, well, first of all, if you don't have one, then you know there's no profile, so you'll create one. But if you're not sure, just Google your name and do you have edit access? If not, let's go back to the raw bar. What you will see on the right hand side here is suggest an edit or own this business. If I click on own this business, it's going to say someone else will be managing this profile. It's something ma@gmail. I can request access. So if you're not sure if you own the rights to this business, this is a good way. Do you have edit access? Okay, I'm going to pause a little bit before we go back into doing some of the work. Any questions or comments so far?
I'm Googling ourselves right now.
Ooh, and
Ooh,
what are you finding?
and I don't have a profile.
Welcome. Today's gonna be great.
Yeah, this is great.
If you so it's really easy to set up. We can send you in the invite or the initial invite or the calendar. There's a couple of videos. It's one of me, and then there's also one of YouTube that walks you through how to create it.
Cool.
So take a look at that, and then
Okay.
you'll be able to apply some of the principles here.
Right on. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, all right, so right, let's talk about three pack mastery. Now, I call it the three pack because again, right, when we Google, and let me go back to, sorry, I want to go back to um, present mode. Okay, so it's a little bit hard to see maybe here, but what I searched was personal training Northeast Minneapolis, just as if, right, personal training Chico, sushi near me. All of those are going to pop up, right, geographically. Uh, if you put in the city, it's going to show up that city. If you put up near me, sometimes there's a little bit of a skew because of where like the cell towers are. So like I'll put in, the sushi near me and it'll bring up stuff in like Roseville, which is not here, but it thinks because of my internet connection. So if that's the case, you just have to adjust it a little bit. When we put in personal training Northeast, look at the what comes up here. This is probably where a lot of our customers are going to start. They may scroll down to the link to the search categories, but this is where they're going to start. Now, what stands out, you may be different than me, and you may be different than a lot of other customers that I talk to, but when I look at this, number one, I go to reviews. How many and how good are they? That's a good place for me to start.
But we have a question. I don't know if you is that okay to interrupt you or
Yeah.
it's in the chat. So I don't know if you can see the question or I can read it for you.
Um, what if someone is
Still like vibing.
of the other generation they do not want to have a profile like this? They're an alternative. They can present it to them. Um, there is a lot of other marketing tactics that I would approach, but visibility on Google, not really. So the question is, if someone is of an older generation, they don't want to have a profile like this. Is there an alternative that can be presented to them that could be similar but not as open? That's a great question, and no, because what we're trading privacy for visibility. So I would just ask, the client what's more important to them. Uh, we all know, well, I think a lot of us know that we've been selling stuff before www dot was a thing. Like I've sold a lot of stuff before the internet was invented. Some of you have as well. Are there other tactics available? Absolutely. But if they're trying to get visibility and get known, this is a quick way, and unfortunately not. Um, so if you have profile and the visibility gives you control of what you want to share. So in a way, it gives you more control of what information is shared. Yeah, so you can, and we'll take a look at that right now. I can not share my address. I can not share a phone number. I cannot put hours. I can control some of that for sure. The more of that that's filled out, the more likely Google is to like it because it likes complete information, and then it's going to serve it up better. So yeah, great questions and comments on that. So if we take a look at this three pack, right? Reviews is one where people normally stop and look at. Um, the number of years as well, right? So years in business, that's often one that people look at. Uh, just from this one, right? Are you open or not? Please, please, when Google asks you if you're open on Memorial Day, please answer Mr. Google or Ms. Google. I don't know if it's Mr. or Ms. Google, doesn't matter. But one of the frustrating parts, and we've all done it from a consumer standpoint, right, is, well, Google says you're open. It's because someone didn't reply to Google's answer, right, about are you open on Memorial Day? If you want to not frustrate your customer, just take that extra time, adjust your hours in here. If hours don't matter, then you can just go, we're open, or open with no hours. Depending on the business, that may be a thing. Or always open. That's an option. So what we've talked about here, right? We can see clearly the name. We can see we can see clearly the name. We can see the reviews. We can see the content information. And then the other part that we're going to do, right, is build out some more um, pieces into this. The overlords in Mountain View. Yeah, Matt, that is correct. Mr., Mrs., one of them. Um, the Googles, as I like to say. Okay, I like to break your brain a little bit because I know you're all reading left to right, and you're probably mad at me that five is on the left and you're starting there, but you're not. I want you to read from the right to the left. Make sure you're all paying attention. Okay, so on the right-hand side, the first thing that we're doing, clear and concise description. This is especially relevant, right? You can see the example here. Family-owned bakery in Springfield. What makes you a little bit unique? Now, don't try to get too crafty to where like you think it's great and your business partner thinks it's great, but no one else knows what you're talking about. Because I know you. And we try to be crafty and fancy and like, no one's Googling that. Like, I just want a bakery. That, that, put that in there. Family owned. Okay. I like to support small family owned businesses. That's probably important. Don't get too fancy. Clear, concise description. If you're not sure, ask your customer or your potential customer, hey, how would you describe our business? And if you don't like that answer, ask two or three more people. And if they're giving you the same answer, guess what? That's how people are describing your business. So put that in there. Number two, high quality photos of the storefront, of products, of services. I'll show you for some of you who are maybe you're the business, what that can look like. I'll show you all in one profile, some good examples and some terrible examples. So 1 second there. Fill in every section, business hours, phone number, and services. Number four, update your hours regularly. And then number five, leverage reviews and customer interaction. So let's go through what some of this looks like. I'm going to open up another profile. Uh, so let's look at a couple of things here. Um, okay, so hold on. We got uh, Tanya, and if I'm mispronouncing a name, is that correct? Tanya? Okay. Uh,
Yeah, you said it right.
I once Googled cookies near me, hoping to find a crumble or something, but I ended up at Cookies Warehouse, which is not the type of baked good I was intending to find. Yeah,
It wasn't very clear, and Google matched me with that. I mean, it's true. It's
yeah,
makes a difference.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So once you've created your profile or claimed your profile, um, what what you'll see is over here on the left-hand side, this is going to be your go-to. So it Google makes it pretty easy. And if I go to edit profile, right, this is where I start to build all of my information. And just take your time with it, right? So again, leadership and leads business coaching. That's me consistently across every channel. It's not Manny's business coaching. Manny helps businesses. Leadership is important. Leads for your business, right? Like all of those could be true. The consistency is important. Business management consultant. Do I love that? I would probably explain myself a little bit differently, but Googlers are looking for business consultant, business management. That's going to then help me. I don't care what I say about me. I want the customer to find me. Description. What is it that I do? Because business management consulting, right, is very vague. I try to roll my description into end result for products and services. For other products, it might be differently, but I like to think about end result, right? So we help you help more people, make more money, generate more profit, and become a better leader of yourself and your team. That's the end result of working with me. That's my phrasing. Now, could I clean this up? Probably. And one of the games that we could play is I wonder if I change my description, does anything happen? Some of us try to just set it and forget it or say, I did this thing and it stopped working. Okay, well, make a change. This is not tattoo. I have a lot of tattoos, but this isn't one of them. I can change it and then see what happens. I can change it and ask my current customers, hey, would you mind looking at my Google profile? I changed the description. Does that yay or nay? Like, right? Like Studio Me, I've been working with them for 9 years now. They know what I do. Megan, can you take a look and see if that describes me? Opening date, phone number. You can add an ability to do some chat features, website, social profile. So again, right, what you can see is just take your time and fill all of this out. Now, a business location, this is going to be relevant. So you can see here, I can show my address to customers or not. Some of this is going to be categorized when you build the profile about the type of business that you are. I am considered a service-based business that I have a service area. I go out. If you're a plumber, you go out to multiple cities. If you are a cookie shop where people come to you, then people come to you, right? If you're a real estate agent, you can play kind of both ways. If you're an insurance agent, you can come to my office or I service the whole area. Business hours we talked about. So I want to tell the world that I am open, but with no main hours because my hours vary, right? But again, I can click, you can see the options here. Open with main hours, and then I can put in my hours here, right? So Monday, what are my hours? I want to share a moment. This is not very likely, but temporarily closed. Actually, Boathouse Paddle Club that we looked at earlier, that's a good example of when Google likes temporarily closed. They're a seasonal business. So February to, December through March, they're closed. So we're temporarily closed during that time because it's seasonal. So if you have seasonality in your business and you're not serving, make yourself temporarily closed. Accuracy is important for Google because Google doesn't want to be serving up incorrect information to a customer because then we say, I don't want to go to that search engine. They give me terrible stuff. Some other identifiers, right? Again, depending on your business that you could do here. These will be adjusted based on the category that you've selected when you set up your profile. And then a few other parts here, right? So again, I'm giving Google the information that it's asking me for that's relevant to my business. But we can see like it's pretty easy to do the adjustments. Like I'm hitting the pencil, typing in or clicking a category. So if I click here, um, you can see all of the different categories that are available and I can continue to add. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet for a moment. Questions from anybody?
I have a quick question. I was curious. I'm a massage therapist, and so I have sort of set hours for myself that I work out of a center, but I'm not like I don't take walk-in clients. They have to schedule a certain number of hours out just for um it really benefits both of us. And so I'm just kind of curious, is it bad to list those hours that they can book as appointments as my business hours? Should I just be like open without business hours? Like, I don't want Google to think I'm lying, but I want people to see me that like I'm open, you know?
Yeah. I don't think you can go wrong with having hours that you're available or with open without business or open with no hours. This very second, I would lean towards open without displaying hours. That tells the customer in Google that you're open, but now I have to do a little bit of work to like contact you, right? Which is kind of what we want. What I don't want is someone to see like, oh, well, she's available, but she's not answering or she's not email, right? Like we kind of don't want that. So I'm a little bit inclined to go open without hours.
Great, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even realize it was an option until you explained it.
Yeah. Yay. I'll take it. We got one victory in. Anybody else? Questions or comments? All right. So we're gonna come back here and I want to create some space and I want to give you the liberty to ignore me kind of if you have your profile up and if you're like tappity tap and you're making updates. So let's take advantage of some of this time. And if you have your profile, like make some of these edits, make some of these changes now. Again, some of you may need to come back to it, but we're here now. Just go ahead and make those edits. So accuracy is going to be important for this three pack. Right? Obviously, near me, if your address is correct, then the near me is going to be more relevant to people who are near you. But Google also crawls, right, all of the other web pages. So it's gonna crawl, and that's why if you have a website, we need it to match. It may be looking at some social to make sure that you match, right? If there's a review on somewhere else, if you're, I think it was Heather who the massage therapist, right? Probably on a massage therapy profile somewhere that exists. So like we need to start getting all of that to match.
I have a question for you, Manny. So we have a Modoc College Center that's located in Alturas, and we're looking to open up two more centers in different locations. They're not open yet, but is there a way that we can tag all three locations under one business?
Um, Kind of. So let me. Um, I'm gonna share with you a little bit, but I'm gonna direct you to Google profile naming conventions. it talks about this exactly, and we want to do it right. So there is a way, but we want to do it right. Um, that's not the one I wanted to share. Uh, Sorry, I didn't unhide it. I unhid it for me. Uh, all right. So this is a great question because actually from massage therapy, this might be a thing. Realtors, that's often a thing. Insurance agents, that's everything, right? So it's Manny State Farm, but I have 4 agents that work under me. And so like, how do we do that? You can see here, so a solo practitioner belonging to a branded organization. So Manny's a State Farm agent. It would be State Farm, Manny Escalante under, right, that profile. Multiple practitioners and or multiple locations. So there is, you guys may need to decide, Modoc College, does each one have its own profile? Or are we just going to put them all under the umbrella and then these are our locations? Um, the From a clarity perspective, multiple locations is probably going to make the most sense. From a ease of updates, all under one is going to make the most sense. So you guys would need to play around a little bit, maybe start with, ease of managing it, and then like, hey, people are getting confused, then we can split these out. Um, but without pulling us too far into this is a great question because it's in the slide for a reason. A lot of people have it, and Sherry, I got you. Uh, um, it's in the slide for a reason, but Google has pretty clear rules and guides. And if you get into them and you don't and you're confused, just holler at me and we'll figure out the best way. Sherry, go for it.
Hi. The question that was asked made me think. I was recently doing a Google search for my son's doctor's appointments, and they have multiple offices. And so they kind of have it labeled like the headquarters in the title of the Google business account.
I
And
like
then
that.
based off the location site, which would be the main street, um, is what they would like put a colon and then the name of the main street so that it's still, when you look up Northern Valley Indian Health, beginning surname of the business, and then that colon out, because then of course, your address locations will be different as you log them in the business. I just wanted to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really helpful.
We're continuing to win. I love it. I love it. Um, let's see. So Luke, I would, if we think about your business as an online business, that's what we're doing. All of this is applicable if we want people to find us. Now, probably, well, so this is, I'll jump on a marketing soapbox here for a moment. Um, the great thing about online businesses is that we can find clients everywhere in the world. The fastest way to profitability and growth is to leverage your in-person network and your close community to for your online business. So if we're looking to grow a YouTube channel, all of this still applies. It's still an online business, right? So your service area can be everywhere in the world, but what this will allow you to do, a couple of things, is it will allow your local people to find what it is that you're offering through that YouTube channel, right? So education, information, tips, whatever, it's going to help people find that. It's also just going to give you general SEO credibility in the online world as you go to do some of your other marketing, because it's one more place that you exist as an active profile. So even if I'm trying to do other marketing work to grow my YouTube channel, having this um, is going to benefit you. It's going to help your local people find you, and it's going to give you credibility in the online space as another peg, if you will, in the internet world. Your categories, though, right, would be probably either open with no hours. Your service area you could do across the world. If there's a particular one, like, hey, I want really people from the US to find my stuff, so that my message is better, then you could do that. But I believe it absolutely applies. Um, you can, yeah, you can do the service area. Sorry, for the address. So this might, I said it didn't change regularly, but this one might have changed recently. It's either going to ask you for a full address or you're going to have to go with no address and then you just do a service area. And the service area can be the state because or sorry, the state or the city. Oftentimes Google for an address is going to want to verify it, where I've had clients like they need to take a picture of their storefront. And I had a client who was at a co-working spot and that was a picture that they took and Google said, nope, we can't play that. It needs to be your physical storefront. So it might not let you without putting a full address that it can verify. I've had another client who had a postcard mailed to them with a verification code, and that's how they needed to verify. Um, so your default would be no address, general service area. All right, let me get back to uh, all right, so I want to get back into the profile, right? Because we looked at the clear, concise description and where all of that. But again, some of the benefits is that you want to keep your profile alive. And we're going to talk about reviews here in a little bit. So I'm going to put a pin on that. But photos, updates, products, services, think about this as one of your billboards that you have to update every once in a while. Don't get overwhelmed. People aren't scrolling your Google My Business profile, your Google profile, like they're scrolling Instagram. So you don't need to have that. But the more relevant we can make it, the better it's going to be because it tells Google this profile is alive and active. Therefore, it's a reputable, it's a business that's still out there. It's still doing work as opposed to a dead profile. Then Google's like, well, they haven't posted in a while. I don't, is this even a thing anymore? And from a customer perspective, it gives them another opportunity to learn more about you, right? Because what we're trying to do on any of our online platforms is build trust and credibility to get them to make a call, come visit, come buy our stuff. But we're building trust and credibility. And one of the ways that we do that, right, is with photos. So if we take a look here, right, if I'm looking for a fitness studio, like your image of a fitness studio might be one thing, and then you click in the photos and you're like, okay, I like what I'm seeing, or like, nah, these people aren't for me. Guess what? Either way, we win. Because if you like what you're seeing, you're going to call me. And if I'm not for you, I don't waste your time or my time. Don't call me. But you could see, is this business active? I mean, yeah. And right, like we can come back. So they did a rebrand. Look at the old logo into, right, some of the new colors and some of the new logos, right? So new logo. But you can see here, right, change the logo. So it'll ask you when you load the pictures, set this as my logo, set this as my cover. And you can see here, right? So change cover, I can pick another picture. The important thing though, if you're already doing stuff on social, if you're already doing stuff on your newsletter, grab those pictures and put them in here. Every couple of weeks, grab a handful of photos and upload them. An update. This is another one that I think is underutilized. So if we do update here, I can add an update. So just in general, right? So we're excited to announce a new team member. But the other one that is an offer that I can say, right? So I can put together, it's just another place for me to advertise. 20% off Mother's Day flowers. And I put a bouquet with flowers and my mom smiling. And then I can go start date, end date, details. $50 off massage, right? So it's just another place for potential eyeballs. We can add an event. If you're hosting an event, same idea, right? So if you're hosting an event, we're going to put it on Facebook. We're going to announce it on Instagram. We're going to do a Facebook event. We're going to do an Eventbrite event. We're going to do a Nextdoor event. We're going to do a Google event. Same information, copy paste, put it in here. It's just one more channel, right? I like to think about this as it's another worm on a hook with a different fishing pole. And like, I'm just trying to get multiple fishing poles in the water. If I have products, right? So you could see here, this is specific products for around fitness. But if you're selling cookies, if you're selling flowers, if you're selling fill in the blank, you can. This less important, I think, for services, more for a physical product, but you can absolutely do that here. And then you can talk here, right? So we can select different services. This is where you can get a little bit more open up your net, right? Do it here rather than in the description or in those primary categories. Let's keep those primary categories clean. But then, right, we can see here. So if we look at the Studio Me primary category is gym in Minneapolis. It is furthest thing from a gym, but what do people Google? Gym near me. Now, level two, what you'll find if we actually if you Google Studio Me Fitness near me and you happen to be in Minnesota and actually near them, you'll see this profile and we rank in the top categories, but you're also going to see ads that we're running. So we got some work to do on this ad. It's actually running at 94% efficiency, but you're going to see double. You're going to see Studio Me being sponsored and then Studio Me in the 3-pack. As a consumer, dang, these people are all over the place. And then when you go to hit the website, because you went to the website, we're going to show you a Facebook ad. That's how we start to put together a complete marketing campaign. And if you're a next door neighbor to someone who bought the gym membership there, you're going to get a postcard. Multiple fishing poles that we can run, but a good anchor is your Google profile. From here, you can then spin off into a bunch of other things. Question and answer. Let's go to this one because we had this conversation recently. So the question and answer can either be customer driven or us driven. So if you know that you get questions all the time, ask yourself a question and answer that question. You can do it in the profile or you can do it front facing. Google recommends from our driven 3 or 4 questions, but if you know you're getting questions consistently, answer those. This was a fun one. So you can see this question. This was actually consumer driven. Would love to go kayaking. I know there are alligators everywhere in Florida, but has anyone seen this in a kayak paddling area? That is a legit question that we had to answer. And this is where ChatGPT and AI helps you because we can be creative, but then we can be like, I want to answer them, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how. Um, so the Q&A piece is important for the customer. And again, we can just feed it ahead of time. I shouldn't say feed ahead of time as we're talking about alligators, but y'all know what I mean. Right? So ask a question here. I can ask a question and then come back and answer it. As the owner, because I own this page, well, I'm a manager of this page, I can ask a question and then it'll tell us, I'm going to get an email that says a customer has a question. And now what we get is a nice healthy profile with a bunch of information. So you can see add a post, there's an opportunity for us here to add a post because we haven't done it in a while. But we've had posts in the past. All right. Accurate information. We're going to get to a couple of more pieces. Uh, Reviews matter most. If you take nothing else away, get reviews. Now, reviews tell Google that your business is doing business. It tells customers that there's a trust factor, and it keeps that account active. How many of us have made a purchase, especially an online purchase, and looked at 0 reviews? Because if you did, you're from another planet. And there's a lot of us that are fearful of asking for reviews because we're afraid of the bad ones. I want you to take a look at this. So the second bullet here, 4.2 to 4.5, and actually I need to do an update because closer to 4.4 to 4.6 is the latest research done at the University of Minnesota, I believe. I can get it to you for those of you stat nerds, but it exists. 4.4 to 4.6 is the highest trust factor. All 5-star reviews makes us think, I don't know what's going on there, unless you have a lot of them. I'll go back to my profile, Manny Leadership and Leads Business Consulting, 13 5-star reviews. Come on, that's like his grandma, his neighbor, right? Like he probably wrote some. I could see like 13 reviews is not a lot. Now, the difference, let's come back and take a look at some of these profiles, is 215 5-star reviews. That you're not lying. So this is a good example. 488 4.4-star reviews. That tells me like these are legit. And sure, some people didn't like the food. That happens at restaurants pretty regularly. Like they serve me raw fish. Yeah, you're at you're at a sushi restaurant. Don't be afraid of bad reviews. And I've had this conversation over and over with a lot of people of like, what if they give me a bad review? You you respond, thank you for the feedback. We appreciate, we're always looking to improve. We'd like to reach out to you directly. We don't have to defend it unless you feel you need to, if it's legit bad review. But don't be afraid to get bad reviews. Don't be afraid of a bad review preventing you from getting reviews. 4.9, 82 reviews. Um, this about gave Tom a heart attack because in his mind, I need 5-star service. Research says 4.6 is the sweet spot. Again, when we start to get to these numbers, it the higher the volume of those reviews, the more likely we are to trust them. But still, don't be afraid. That's the takeaway. I'm going to jump off that soapbox because I've been hammering it. But get reviews, ask reviews consistently. Now, some things that we can't do. So you need to think about your sales process and where can you ask for reviews? When is the customer happiest? Did the customer make a good comment? Oh my goodness, these are the best cookies ever. Hey, that's so cool. Would you mind just giving us a review? Here's a QR code at the register. Can I email you? I would love to just get that in writing because what it does is it helps other people like you find my business so I can help them. Would you mind? If you want a script, I have scripts for text messages and emails for asking for reviews, but they're absolutely helpful. We need to ask for them consistently. And I'll tell you, there's another business that I work with. The marketing that we're going with right now is, and it's not the one I shared, the marketing that we're going with right now is 500 4.8-star reviews. That's why you should come to our business. Because it's not what I say about me, it's about what 500 other people have said about me. So we need to be consistently asking for reviews. Don't be afraid of bad ones, and then just write back. Thank you for the review. We appreciate, we're happy that you're a customer. Thank you for the review. We're sorry you had a bad experience. You need to be thinking about consistently in your process how you're asking for reviews. Now, some goals that I would set for you is get to 15 as fast as possible, and then in increments of 10. So get to 15, and then if you want, because the question that we get is, right, there's so many different profiles that where can we where should we start? I would start with Google because of the what it does for your search engine optimization. Drive customers to give you Google reviews, and then pick another platform if you want. That other platform can be Facebook page. That other platform can be Yelp. That other platform, right, can be something in within your industry. But because we can get reviews in so many places, I'll let you just focus on one. When I get to 15 Google reviews, I'm either going to stay on Google and get more reviews there or switch to another platform. And then I'm going to get to my goal there. And then I'm going to come back to Google until I get to 25. And then I'm going to switch to another platform. So you can be strategic, but I would push Google reviews first. Your first goal is 15. And then after that, increments of 10. The fun thing is it's easy with Google. It reaps huge rewards regardless of your business. We have people all over the place here, right? From MODOC college centers to massage therapy to online businesses. You can all benefit, and it's super easy to do. So you're going to update your profile regularly, use Google Posts to highlight information about your business, and then you can track your analytics. I'm going to save the analytics for we can save it for later. Right now, don't worry about the analytics. Update it regularly and use the other platform, right? Use your pictures, use your the other categories. We have a couple of minutes, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So let me actually pull up any questions or comments as we wrap up. So unmute, pop it in the chat. Take a screenshot of this or picture with your phone if you want. Again, I'm a resource. You can reach out to Heather as well. Any questions or comments?
This was so awesome, Manny. Thank you so much for taking the time to share this with us.
Yeah.
Great
It's like
job.
100% new to me, so very valuable.
Oh, very cool.
Good. Yeah, and Manny said he was open to ping him if you have any problems or issues or quick question or what have you. So am I speaking on behalf of you?
No, you're reiterating what I've said.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great. Well, we have 1 minute. So I just want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Great turnout. This is actually the first webinar that we've posted like this in quite a while. So I want to thank Manny. Let's all give him a big hand. Woo woo.
Yay.
Um, we are actually ChicoSTART is a Growth Google partner. And so we're one of our staff is actually going to be hosting Growth Google session called Power Your Job Search. Something completely different than 360 from tonight. But good information. And that will be on May 21st. Let me put that on there. And I just put the link for that to register that if you want to go to that. And then also, for any more of our events, you can go to chicostart.com/events. And I will get that in there. My typing's getting slow as I get towards the end of the day here.
Excuse me, but it says May 2nd. Is it supposed to be May 21st?
21st. Yeah, I told you my typing's as it gets later on the night, it gets off. So yes, it's May 21st. Just click the event link and we'll give you the correct date.
Going back in time here.
Yeah. May 21st. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks everyone for being here. And we will be doing another webinar July 9th. That'll be our next one. So online. So look for information on that. So thanks everyone for coming and have a great rest of your week.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
everyone.
Heather.
Bye,
See you
guys.
later. Bye.
Take care.